Alrighty guys, so now it's been 3 days and I haven't even looked at my ad, and I'm using my own advice here. I'm literally not looking at it because it doesn't matter for 3 days. I haven't looked at this setting, so I'm going to keep this real raw and I'm just going to live analyze my ad. So I'm going to go here. My ad manager tab hasn't popped up yet, but I'll just click the create ad and then go through to the ad manager this way. Alright, so now that I'm here, I'm going to be sure to switch it to the business account. And then here we go. So let's see, 0.01. So it's not looking good off the bat. Now the way I used to teach it is if you saw this, I'd just be like end it. But then I started getting feedback, and people are like, well, one of my winning products actually was a 0.01. So in terms of actual engagement, this isn't a good result, but we're gonna go ahead and analyze this even deeper to see if there's anything worthwhile for keeping this. So I'm gonna go ahead and click report. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is create the breakdown just so I can see where it's performing best, if it's performing better with, you know, what countries we can do or like any of that. So coming here, it seems that the United Kingdom and the United States far outweigh everything else. It seems like it's for sure being performed right there. So now it's time to see if I want to go ahead and scale this or not. Obviously, the cost per result is not that good, even in the top performing countries. So what we're going to do is go up here and click reports, and we're going to see what's been going on. So again, I talked about this in the other video. You can really look at this two ways. You can come up here, and since you're only doing one ad, you can just make it simple on yourself and go to pixels and just see what kind of feedback you're getting. So be sure to click your Facebook pixel. So be sure to choose that ad account with your Facebook pixel, and then you're going to come right here and click details, and we're going to see what's been going on. So it seems that there's no purchases except for my test order. However, there are, see, only 3 added carts, 3 checkouts, view content. So this isn't good data at all. So if this is looking like your campaign, go ahead and end it. And I'll tell you what I look for. So right there, again, you can look at this in the ad. Again, you can look at this on your ad sets, or you can look at this on your pixel. It just depends. Once you start having multiple ad sets out there, you're gonna get like all the results compiled into one on your pixel. So maybe it's just a better habit to look in your actual ad set, like I taught you in the other video where you create a custom report. But for simplicity, I'm just gonna show you this part right here. Alright, so page view right here, I got 171. That page view is just coming to your homepage. Since the way we set it up, it's a little different. If you're doing multiple products, it's going to be view content. But since we're doing homepage only, it's going to be page view. 171 people. That's not that bad, honestly. Like getting 171 people for 30 bucks on your website, that's about 20 cents. 20 cents a click. So this shows a little bit of potential. I'm going to go ahead and analyze everything else to see if this is something I'd want to scale or not. Initiate checkout, only 3, add to cart 3, and there hasn't been any add to cart in the past 3 days. So that's a little concerning to me. You should be getting at least a few add to carts now. And then obviously no purchases. Now from here, I'm going to teach you what to look for to know where to go, because there's basically only 2 options. So right here, if I were to scale this, I would launch a traffic ad. So if I were to scale this, I'd launch a traffic campaign. So that means that I'm only now focused on people in my audience coming onto my website. That's my main focus, and I would go ahead and launch an audience for this. And I think that is what I am going to do, just because 171 is a good amount for 30. However, it is a little concerning. I only have 3 added carts, but that just could be part of the maturation of this specific ad. So ideally, after you spend about 30 bucks, like if you're getting anything above, say, 150 views, I would say it might be a good idea to scale it. However, if all of these show 0, I wouldn't scale it. See, mine showed a little bit of potential. That's why this one's a little iffy. But generally, if I have like 5 to 10 added carts and the same page views, I would for sure go with the traffic ad. So just for the sake of teaching this, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I would scale it from here and retarget from here. It's pretty easy, honestly. So what I would do is, again, in real life, this one would be an iffy one. This is like borderline, because like anything above 150 is decent, and I have 171 clicks and only 3 added carts. So I'm not sure if this one will work out necessarily, but just for teaching purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I would do. Now, what I want to say before I go any further, that this would be different if I got like 30 added carts right off the bat. So if this was 30, I'll show you what to do if this was 30 or not. But first things first is we're gonna wanna go ahead and retarget the ad now that we have more data on it. So go back to your ads manager. All right, so first thing you're gonna do is click view charts, and let's check out the age. So the age between 25 and 45 actually is performing extremely well. And we saw before that this was performing best in the United States and the United Kingdom. Since it's pretty evenly matched, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and split test that. But first thing I'm gonna wanna do is come into here, and we're gonna adjust that age. So it's showed that 24 to 45, it's performing extremely well in. Got that down to 1.7 million. And we're gonna go ahead and just eliminate Canada altogether. So now we're at 1.6 million between the United Kingdom and the United States. Now you have two choices really right here. You can split test between the United States and the United Kingdom. Like, it's really your call. It's gonna cost you double the money. It's gonna cost $10 a day now instead of $5 a day. But what I think I would personally do in here is just keep them grouped together and let the pixel decide, let the pixel battle it out, and that will decide which country it's gonna perform better in. But it is decently even, so you could really split test it too. It's really a matter of what your budget looks like and what you actually want to do with it, and how much you believe in the product, the response, and all that. So that should be your first move. Go in and retarget to the country or countries that it was the best. At this point though, you should have it down to one, just one country. But since this was such a close little battle, I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep them both in and just see what happens, like see where the added cart's gonna come from, see where all the traffic's gonna come from, and then just retarget. And then now that we have a lot of data, we can pretty much like look more deeply into what country it's performing better in data-wise. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this and come right back to it. I'm gonna create a custom report. I'm actually gonna go into the traffic and then see where all my traffic's actually coming from. So we're gonna go click link clicks, and then we're also going to break that down by country. So we're going to go right over here and click country. And then we're going to have to scroll over here. So it seems that United Kingdom and United States, see, it's very evenly matched. So 36 and 29. And honestly, guys, now that I'm looking at it, it's like $12 to United Kingdom, $12 to United States, and it's only producing 36 and 29 clicks. I don't think this looks really that promising. So I do apologize. I can't show you exactly how to scale a product, because this one doesn't look like it's doing the best. However, I'll just do the next best thing and treat it as if it was, and I'll show you what little signs to look for. So right here, since we're getting so little clicks, I mean, that comes to be like 30 cents a click, and that's way too high. I wouldn't do that. So if you're getting like around 10 cents a click, that's what looks good. But without further ado, let's go ahead back into the ads manager, and I'll show you what to do. You're gonna find your campaign, and then you're gonna go to your ad sets right here, and you're gonna click edit. And then right here, I looked at the ages. We looked at the ages, and obviously 25 to 45 was like outperforming everyone, and that makes sense because that's where the retro gaming ages are. Maybe even older, like we might even want to bump this up to like 50, since a lot of people, grew up in the Tetris era who have iPhones. So let's go 25 to 50, and we got 1.6 million. That's a great reach. And then since the United States was performing better than the United Kingdom, I'm going to go ahead and click that out altogether so that we can just focus on the United States. And you can see here, it only took away 300,000 people. So that just goes to show you that you should narrow it down to the United States. This is going to be better in the long term, and you can always come back and resell to the United Kingdom as you season your pixel. But it's generally best to just focus on one country that performs the highest when you're doing this. So narrow down the age, narrow down the gender like we did, we already did it last time by narrow down to one country. So now we got one country going. if this was a better performing engagement ad, I would also suggest that you guys up this to $10 a day, but no more than $10 a day. And I'm going to get into this in the advanced scaling. You never really want to end your PPE, and you never want it to go above $10 a day, just because PPE is, that's just extra social proof, that's just extra stuff for your pixel, but you don't want to scale PPE super high. And this was my mistake the first time I started dropshipping. When you scale PPE super high, you're just going to get tons and tons of engagement, but it's not going to pay off, you know? So $10 a day is the sweet spot where it's like you're still getting that engagement, you're still seasoning your pixel, but you're not spending tons of money. So you don't want to turn it off. You don't want to ever if you turn an ad off, you have to be content with never turning that ad on again, because once it's off, it's off. And if you turn it back on again, a couple minutes later, the algorithm's all messed up and you messed it up. So I would really, really suggest you guys going ahead and scaling it to $10 a day if it shows 0.004 or lower. And if it doesn't, make sure that it's getting a lot of link clicks or a lot of ATCs or whatever. So again, like I said, I'm teaching you guys as if this is a successful ad. Let's say it was 0.004 and it had like 5, 6, 7 ATCs. So I would up that to $10 a day after the retarget down to the United States and the ages, and I would go ahead and publish that, and then keep that published while we go on and launch our next campaign. So before you get out of here, you want to come here and you want to take that audience with you. So you're going to scroll down here and you're going to click save this audience, and you're going to save it as whatever your product name is, like Tetris or something like that. So save that, publish draft items. Alright, so the next thing I would definitely do is come to campaign, click create. So now that we've had 137 people on the site, we can go ahead and do traffic. This one's going to be called Tetris Traffic. And in this video, I'm just going to go ahead and show you, I'm just going to show you both scenarios. So, well, I guess technically third scenario. So in real life, I would have ended this ad because it was 0.01, like not many ATCs, not too many link clicks, so that you would know to shut off. So in this scenario, we're pretending that we got a lot of link clicks, maybe like 200, 300, and then as well as like 5, 6, or 7 ATCs. So in that case, we'd actually run this traffic campaign. So you're going to go up here and you're going to click website, and we're going to add the destination a little bit later. And then you're going to come in here to your custom audiences, and you're actually going to choose that one that we just saved. And you're actually going to choose that one that we just saved right here. Oh, that's weird. It's not. Oh, there we go. Just popped up. All right, 5 million. And then we're going to come back here to edit placements. We're going to do mobile. We're going to do feeds only, because now we have an ATC, and the ATC only shows in feeds. So we're going to keep that. And then we're going to get down to the mobile devices, iOS only. We can type in X. I'm going to get rid of these two. And then I'm going to go ahead, oops, did not mean to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add all the other iPhones. All the cases for iPhones that I sell, I have now targeted. I got all my other targeting down. And then I'm going to start this link click with $5 a day, and then go from there. So I'll click continue. And then what you'd want to do is use that same existing post. So you're going to come right here, and it's going to have that ATC on it, and it's going to have your shop now. So that's why it's important for your PPE for you to add a CTA, and what a CTA is a call to action, and that's what this is right here. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to mention, you also want to go and look at your ad as itself on the Facebook page. So I'm going to go right here, because I haven't looked at this either. I just went off the data, but you also want to look at like what the general feedback is, and if any of the feedback is showing that it's promising. So I mean, it looks decent. 11 likes, 3 comments, people saying like, you know, let's dope, let's get one, hell yeah. 1 negative comment here, but 6,000 views and only 3 comments. Like, it's not looking good. I'll just be real with you, it's not looking good. But anywho, you would take that traffic, and then you would hit confirm right here. Now after you hit confirm, again, now you have the $10 a day PPE, and now you have this $5 a day, because you should only be in the link click if you have a successful PPE, and if you had a successful PPE, that should be up to $10 a day at this point. So now you're going to be running your PPE alongside with this link click, $5 a day. So $15 a day total. Guys, that's still not that much for the amount of payoff that could come from this. So from here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wait 3 to 5 days for sure. 4 days like that sweet spot. And then you're going to come to the link click and you're going to analyze it. And if you're getting less than 15 cents a click or like 10 cents a click, or you'd be surprised how low your clicks can get. That's a good sign, but mainly what you want to look for is your add to cart. So you want to go back up here into your pixels, and then you also want to do that trick I showed you where you make a custom report and see where the add to carts are coming from, just to make sure that your add to carts aren't coming from your PPE. But like I said, just for simplicity purposes, I'm just going to come back right here and I'm going to show you this. So after the 4 days, I'd really prefer you guys wait 4 days. Don't even look at it for 4 days. 4 days is perfect. That's just 20 bucks. So when you come back here, if you're not seeing a large up in your ATCs after 4 days, I would end your campaign now, because that just means that people are clicking on your site, but they're not adding to cart because they're not interested in it enough, or like your website doesn't look something. It's something else for sure than your just campaigns, because people generally go to a site to add it to cart unless they see something that they don't like. So maybe your pictures are blurry, maybe the website's all jumbled, or maybe it's not a product people are interested in enough to buy it. So that's what I would definitely do. Wait the 4 days. Look at your link click, not your PPE. Well, I mean, look at both, but your link click, a lot of the ATCs should be coming here. If you're not getting ATCs, axe it. Start over at the product research video and find another product, because this one has failed. And you might get mad like, oh, Scott, I lost 50 bucks or 60 bucks or anything. Remember, I mentioned this a couple times, the average business, it costs like 30 grand to even get off the ground, and then they're in debt for 2 years. You lost 50 bucks, okay? So what? Like, you're gonna make that money back for sure. So it's all about consistency and trust. Just keep it up, keep going, and I'm sure it'll pan out. So before I go, I wanna show you guys what you would do if you were getting a lot of ATCs. So let's say that I spent the $33 or $35 and I came here, I've waited the 4 days initially, and then the 3 days I waited to retarget and scale. And say I came here today and there were 30 added carts, like 20 to 30 added carts in a week. I'd be like, well, all right then. So what I would do in that case is come back to the ad manager, and like I said, you want to have that audience saved from your PPE that you were using, if it was successful, of course. And I would come right here and I click create new campaign. I would come up here to conversions, and then I would name this ATC Tetris. So Facebook recommends that you don't move on to conversions until you're getting, now when I started they said 20, now it's 50. I think if you're doing 20 to 30 conversions a week or something, you're good to go. So Facebook says once you're doing 20 to 30, once you're getting 20 to 30 conversions a week, you should now be, now they would recommend you launching that conversion ad for the conversion you're getting 20 to 30 weeks. So like I said, if you looked at your added carts and you got like 30 and it's only been running for like a week, it's like, all right, well, that's perfect. You can now just jump straight to add to cart. I would name this again ATC Tetris. And so what the ATC ad's doing now is it's going to optimize for people adding to cart. And since you're getting that data already, like a lot of it, like 20 to 30 a week, now it's going to be more accurate when you actually launch it. So you're going to get more and more and more added carts. And then from there, I'll explain in the advanced Facebook ad scaling strategy video coming up. I'm gonna explain what to do once you get past the ATC point, like where to go from the ATC point, because that's when it gets a little tricky. That's when you start using lookalike audience ads and stuff. But it gets tricky, but it gets easier, if that makes sense. It's gonna be tricky at the start. So yeah, come down here, use save audience, do the Tetris one, and then do the exact same placements. Go through and choose just the feed and suggested videos. Choose the thing at the end. You want to start with $5 a day. Depending on if you are getting sales and it's a fairly large ticket item, maybe like $40 or $50, I'd start with $10 a day. But most of the time, $5 a day is cool. and then you're going to hit continue. You're going to select that post and launch it. So now you're going to wait 3 to 5 days, preferably 4 days. That's like the perfect spot. And then you're going to come back and analyze the data, either in your ads manager or straight in your pixels tab. Now I'm going to tell you how to look for the signs of scale from the ATC. So again, after you wait the 4 days and you come here and you see that you now have, I would say it really depends on your product again, like just use common sense. But if it's like a small fraction of what you're selling it at, or a small fraction of your profit, I mean, then you're good to go. And ideally, you should begin sales at this point. This is the only time you should actually like start like expecting sales. If you're not getting sales after 4 days on that ATC, then it's for sure time to call it. However, though, you shouldn't have gone to the ATC in the first place if you weren't already getting tons of added carts. And I will say this tip: if you're getting a lot of added carts and you're not getting many purchases or barely any, I would just do free shipping or look into your checkout settings, because there's something there that's turning off customers. Or you can even like email customers who abandon their cart and be like, hey, listen, what happened? I'm the owner. I'm just trying to understand. Like, who cares if you're being unprofessional at the beginning? It's like, this is a learning experience for when you actually need to be more professional. So that's what I would suggest doing. But yeah, after you launch that ATC, if you're getting many added carts and you're getting a bunch of purchases, I would go on to the next video. That's where I'm gonna teach you how to go ahead and use lookalike audience ads. Because this video is more about that beginning stage, the first 100 orders. Once you get 100 orders, it becomes much easier, in my opinion. It becomes more consistent with what you have to do. But the first 100 orders are the hardest, and there's like a little there's like a maturation process. I'm not sure if I'm saying that word right, but like a little maturation process of stages you have to go through. But once you break that 100 orders, you're gonna have enough data for purchases to just do only purchase lookalike audience ads, and that's the end goal, like I've mentioned a few times. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I've taught you guys, you know, what to do, what to look for retargeting wise, how much to keep the PPE going, and if to keep the PPE going. A lot of people end that PPE and it's bad for them. And then obviously you want to look for how many page views / link clicks do you have that are coming from this. If that's a lot, I would go ahead and launch that link click campaign. But if you're getting more ATCs, like 20 to 30 already, I would just jump ahead of that link click and go straight to the ATC campaign. And if you do that and it doesn't work, try that link click again, because that's the way it's supposed to naturally go. But for me personally and a lot of other people, once we get those signs that this ATC campaign would work on this, we just go for it directly, because it's not really worth it to just go for link clicks at that point, because you're already getting the data for ATC. So that's all I really want to cover in this video. This is the process you should do to get like your first 100 orders. Once you're doing 10 to 20 purchases, so once you're doing like around like 20-30 purchases a week, that's when you scale. That's when you transition to the purchase ad campaign. Do not transition to that purchase ad campaign until you're getting about 20-30 purchases a week. That's very important. A lot of people want to jump the gun on that, and that's what destroys their campaign. So just be patient, be consistent here with me, and I'll teach you the best I know on how to scale it to make, you know, 6 figures with one product. So that's all I want to cover in this. So I'll see you in the next video.